Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Superman and Lois Season 2, and this is going to be my trailer breakdown for Episode 3 for this season. We're already a fifth of the way through the season. Crazy. But anyway, this episode is called The Thing in the Mines, and let's watch the trailer before we do anything else.
Coming to this town was the way back to normal.
I'm not sure if normal's ever gonna be part of our lives again.
Everything okay?
We need to get Mom now.
Clark?
Get back! I don't know what's happening to me.
This is a national security situation.
No, it is a family situation.
So last episode was an incredibly packed episode. I wouldn't say action packed, but just packed. A lot of story, a lot of stuff moving forward. There was just a lot of stuff going on, but I think they just want to make sure that everything is set up so then they can just do other stuff going forward. They don't have to keep, starting new storylines in this episode and that episode. They can just start it all here and then progress everything going forward, which I think is probably the best move possible. But last episode we had Clark, with the help of Lois and John Henry Irons, or John, whichever way you want to call it, they're able to figure out that Superman or Clark's visions and his headaches are all connected to the tremors from the mines, and that, Clark learns from his mother, or his Kryptonian mother, Lara, that they're connected to another being. Now, obviously, we see the shadowy figure of that being in the mines after he does a bit of killing, that, of course, being Doomsday, but Clark doesn't know what's going on down there. So this episode should be pretty interesting. Lois also learns that Lucy Lane went against a story from her past, and that's causing some issues. While Morgan Edge returned in this episode, he helped and then turned on Clark and Jordan, though some words from his mother, who's also, Kal-El's mother, about his bad choices may have, him turn around slightly later in the season. That's a big maybe. Might not happen at all. It's hard to tell with a character like his, but I don't know, maybe some wise words from his mother might make him a bit of like a neutral character, a bit of like an anti-villain, anti-hero, whichever way you want to put it. But of course, before we get into the actual breakdown of this trailer, let's quickly go over the synopsis or description for this episode, as it does give us a bit more context and also just stuff not even hinted at in the trailer. Yeah. And of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your general thoughts, opinions, theories, predictions, everything like that. I'm always curious to read what you're thinking about and what you're looking forward to most in this episode. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you're looking forward to this episode, want to drop a like on it to do all that. Lois reaches out to retired General Lane as Clark's visions become worse during heated arguments with both Jonathan and Jordan. Meanwhile, Lana shares her frustrations with Kyle. Lastly, Natalie learns that her father did not follow through on a promise he made to her. So to start off the trailer, we do have Natalie Irons questioning the choice to come back to Smallville, as she believed it was actually going to be their road back to a normal lives, because you're out of that like hustle and bustle of everything that was going on in Metropolis. Though her father says that that's sort of like easier said than done, pretty much. He doesn't say that exactly, but easier said than done. But in the synopsis, we of course have it saying that Natalie learns that her dad did not follow through on a promise that he made to her. But what was this promise? Well, I'd assume it's the promise that was made clear in season 1. However, it might be a promise that was made off screen. I don't know. But in season 1, John promised his daughter Natalie that he would come back to her before he left to fight evil Kal-El, which then led him to getting transported to Earth Prime. So he was like, you know what, blah, 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 after this all goes down, I'll come back and get you. And because he did not return, Natalie probably thought he died fighting the evil Superman, evil Kal-El, because he said he would come back and get her, but that never happened. Now, of course, it's very important to remember, like, John's mission, until really things get made more clear to him and he can trust, our Superman, is that his job was to stop what happened on his Earth, stop Kal-El becoming evil. So his focus wasn't to get back to Natalie at that point. It was to stop what happened on his Earth to happening on this Earth as well. So like getting back to Natalie was never number one priority. So it makes you wonder whether he just thought Natalie was actually dead completely. But I'm sure we might get some, layout in this episode of what was going on. Also, in regards to the Natalie side, it makes you wonder whether we're going to get details either in this episode on how she traveled to Earth Prime from her Earth and how she was able to connect the dots and get here, or if that's setting that up for later episodes. Because obviously in the season 1 finale, she locks onto the suit. Like, that's how she's able to find them directly on the farm, because she locks onto the suit. But does that work, throughout the multiverse? So that's going to be a big question as well. But I don't know if we'll get all that in this episode. We might get some of it, and then the rest of it is for later episodes or the next episode, whatever it might be. But next in the trailer, we have Sam Lane, not General Lane anymore, just Sam, he's retired, but he is back on the Kent farm, and we see Jonathan driving the truck quickly and frantically up to the house while screaming out for his mother Lois. But in the front seat of the truck, not driving the truck, but just in the front seat, is Clark, and he has on the attire or the clothes that he would normally wear when he goes to like football practice. But this is followed by Clark on the front porch, on the ground, going through another vision and head pain. Now in the synopsis, it says that like the visions are becoming worse because of arguments he's having with both Jonathan and Jordan. So I'd assume at football practice he has an argument with Jonathan, might I say, which triggers it, which leads to them driving home quickly. I'm not too sure. I would assume so based off the synopsis. But we do hear Sam say that this is like a national security situation due to the fact that we have Superman of all people, the all-powerful one, freaking out like this and sort of not being able to control what's going on. And who knows where it could lead. I don't think it would be seen as a bad move or safe move, might I say, not mood, but move, to be worried about all this. However, of course, Lois knows there are connections elsewhere. Though one concern for Lois would be that these visions seem to be getting worse and worse. And of course, that would be a concern for Clark as well, as there would have to be a specific reason as to why they're getting worse and worse. And why is he seeing these specific things? Why is he seeing like the destruction of a world or whatever it might be? And it's not meant to be like a vision of like Krypton. It's meant to be something else. What the hell's going on? It'd be very, very concerning. Now, I do wonder whether all that gets explained in this episode, or the revelation that's probably going to happen, I guess, in the final 10 minutes or something in this episode will lead to further explanation later. That's a big question, but yeah. I think this is going to be a core part of the episode, like these visions and everything like that. Now, just to go back to something from the synopsis and also something from last week, of course, or not last week, last episode, episode 2, we have General Lane in this episode, or retired General Lane, Sam Lane, whichever way you want to put it. It makes you wonder where Lois brings up Lucy to her father. Like, I think Lucy shows up next episode, episode 4. I don't think she's in this episode. Pretty sure she shows up next week. So I would assume that Lois brings up Lucy to her dad, and that sets all that up. I guess another question is whether her dad had any sort of hint of all this, and like we're led to believe that Lucy is a very much different Lucy than was in Supergirl, and Crisis allows them to play around with that, put her in a different situation, put her in a different path in regards to, what her life was. Obviously, we know she was drawn into a cult and everything like that. So yeah, I'm actually excited to see how different this version of Lucy is, just based off the one we saw in Supergirl, when she was a part of the military and everything like that. So yeah, I'm interested. But the final shot of the trailer appears to be at the mines with Superman on the ground, and this is most likely when Doomsday makes his full appearance and reveal. I would assume he officially comes out of the mines and everything like that, or he comes out, he's attacking people, and Superman has to get here quickly. Now, whether the visions continue after Doomsday comes out is another question, but I don't know. I don't know why they would stop. You think they would keep going? I guess that's a question until the episode actually airs, or after the episode. I have to wait for that one. But it must be said, Dr. Faulkner, who was the lady that was from Amatech in last episode, there is a character called Karen or Kitty Faulkner who becomes Rampage in the comics, sort of like a Hulk type creature. Now, like that's not the best way to explain it. Now, I don't think we'll see that on the show, but maybe there is a program at Amatech or that's connected to the military related to something like that, which is why they are so interested in what was beneath the mines and making its way up through the ground. However, I think Doomsday might be too much of what they wanted and were interested in, and wouldn't surprise me if Doomsday just like kills her. I'm not too sure, but I'm just interested as hell to see how they portray Doomsday on the show, and whether they go down a storyline that's going to be overly surprising or familiar from the one in the comics, just with a bit of twists here and there. Because I must say, even though I said, just then, like they might put a twist on it, they could only put like a slight twist in it and still go down like a Death of Superman angle with Doomsday. Because as I said earlier, we have Morgan Edge come back, but his conversation with his mother has sort of made him question whether he did the right thing and question his choices and everything like that. And he might turn around and, want to help you know, everything that's gone on, or that was going on later in this season. So I'm interested to see where they go. I think we'll get a hint, maybe not in this episode 3, but maybe by episode 5, where they're going and whether, you know, they'll go down that certain angle where Superman will die, or they'll do like a arc like that, or it's going to be a completely new story for the show that just has Doomsday as a central threat in it. So that'll be interesting, but that's a wait and find out for us. But unfortunately, we don't have any more, we don't have any promo images for this episode as of yet. It seems to be the case lately. They seem to be releasing them like on the weekend or something, or maybe the Friday. Yeah, so they haven't been releasing them, so that's a bit annoying that we can't go over them in this video, but yeah, so you'll see them. I guess you can just look for them on the weekend. You might find them. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions and all of this. Are you looking forward to this reveal of Doomsday? I'm assuming he's going to be fully clothed up in like the head to toe being covered, and you won't get to see like what he looks like yet, and that'll be something that happens later. But I'm just excited to see how big he is, just like the size and everything like that. But yeah, I think we're all looking forward to that. But yeah, let me know your general thoughts, theories, predictions, what you're looking forward to in the comments. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.